Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another review, and today I have the Wyze bulb color. Now, I've tested a lot of LED bulbs and a lot of smart bulbs over the last few years, and I like them an awful lot because when you compare an LED light bulb to a standard conventional incandescent bulb, you'll find the LED bulb drinks less electricity to provide the same amount of illumination as an incandescent bulb, which means you're spending a whole lot less money each year to light up that room. They also run nice and cool, where these guys get hot and they'll heat up a room, so you'll never have to worry about singeing your fingers by touching that bulb. And the best part for me is they last so much longer than incandescent bulbs. Under normal operation, they'll probably run 10 or 15 years, which means I'm up on a ladder way less often changing out bad bulbs, and that's a really good thing. Better yet, if you can find a smart LED bulb, now it can respond to programming. So you can control it from your phone, you can shout at a smart speaker across the room to turn on a light. It just provides a whole lot more control. The challenge is there are so many companies that make smart LED bulbs today that they all start looking the same. And there are big differences between different bulbs on the market, and it's important you know what those differences are so you can make the right decision for you. Now, when manufacturers started making smart LED bulbs, they were white, and that seems like a pretty simple thing to do. There's only two things you really have to control with a smart LED bulb that's white: the brightness, so you can turn it all the way down or all the way up, so you can adjust the brightness for the room. And the second, which is a little more subtle, is the intensity of the color. So you'd think a white bulb would just be white, but it's not. There's a hue to that bulb, and it's measured in kelvins. The higher the number, the whiter and bluer the light is. And a lot of people don't like that. They don't like that bright blue light. So dialing that down to the lower end of the Kelvin scale makes it warmer, a little bit more comfortable. But I understand you need to have both ends of that spectrum, because if you're working on something where you've got to focus and need really bright light, you want to be able to dial it up to the high end of the Kelvin spectrum to give you that crystal clear view. But in the afternoon, if you're trying to relax, you might want to dial it down and sort of make it a little bit more mellow, a little softer light on the bottom end of it. So the difference between those two parameters, how much of a window of adjustment you can get, can vary tremendously between companies. So whenever you're comparing a bulb to another bulb, especially the white bulbs, check that variance on the Kelvin scale to see how low it can go and how high it can go. The thing I love about Wyze, and this company's brilliant, is that they think about those details that maybe you didn't even know about, and they build them into the bulb. They actually give you an incredibly wide adjustment on their white bulb for that Kelvin adjustment, as well as the brightness. Now, the bigger challenge is building a white LED light bulb and moving to a colored LED light bulb seems like it would be a simple leap, but it's not. There's a lot more you have to control when you have a colored light bulb. So I've been waiting for the colored version of the original light bulb to come out for quite some time. I only got it about 4 days ago, and I've been testing it like crazy, and I'm telling you, they get everything right. The first thing you'd have to worry about is that the intensity of the bulb as a white bulb provides a tremendous amount of illumination, because white is a great color, or lack of a color, to actually light up a room. So a light bulb that's white can get by with a 60-watt light bulb. The problem is when you move to a colored light bulb, you need a little brighter bulb to actually throw that color around the room. So one thing Wyze did was they increased the brightness of the bulb. So their new colored bulb, the one I'm going to review today, isn't a 60-watter, it's more close to a 75-watter, so it's a brighter bulb. They've also increased the hue adjustment on the product, so it actually goes a lot lower on the bottom end of that Kelvin scale than most bulbs on the market. And that's really nice, because if you adjust this on a regular basis, you're going to find, just like I found, that you're going to end up on the bottom end of that Kelvin scale more than you're on the top end. It's very rare for me to crank it way up to that bluish white light unless I'm doing a puzzle or working on some document that I really need to see the printing on. Most of the time I'm on the lower end of that scale, so having a bulb that's brighter and also has a lower end of the Kelvin scale means I've got a lot more adjustment. It also has a CRI rating, which is the intensity of the bulb to produce colors that are accurate, of 90 plus, which is way higher than most of the other bulbs in the market. I think that's really nice. And then the range of colors it can produce is 16 million colors. Now, I haven't tried a lot of them, but I mean, I can go from blue to green to red to orange to purple. I've tried all the colors out there, and I love the fact that I've got a wide range of adjustments for the colors, so I can set the exact right tone that I want for that room. It's also easily controllable from smart speakers on the market. So if you've got an Amazon product or a Google product, you can shout at your smart speaker, you can change the color, you can change the brightness, all the parameters you need to adjust are there. It's fully programmable as well, where you can set a schedule to turn it on at a certain time of the day, turn it off at a certain time of the night, maybe change the color during the day. You can also set a random schedule called vacation mode, where if you're going to be gone for a couple of days, the bulbs will pop on around your house at random intervals to make it look like people are walking around your house turning on your lights, keep those bad guys at bay. So they built everything into the bulb. Now, what I'd like to show you next is just how simple it is to use, because another big difference is a lot of the companies that build smart bulbs only build smart bulbs. And that's a challenge because if you buy their bulb and somebody else's smart switch or smart plug, now you've got a bunch of applications on your phone that you have to integrate with your Alexa product or your Google product. Wyze makes an entire universe of smart products. So they make plugs and they make, bulbs like this and switches and all kinds of other sensors and things that you can use as part of one application. So it's kind of cool that you can actually program this to see a motion sensor. Somebody detects motion, the bulb changes color. If you open a door, maybe it's green when the door is closed, but if you open the door, it turns red to let you know you didn't close the door. So there's an entire ecosystem of control that's available through that application. The other key thing is a lot of the bulbs on the market are incredibly difficult to get working through the application. You're going to spend a lot of time trying to find it on your Wi-Fi network, add it to your network, make it available to your Alexa product or your Google product. With Wyze, they're integrated with all those things quickly. And I'm going to show you exactly how simple it is to add one of these bulbs to your network and then add it to a smart speaker and then control it from that smart speaker. So if you stay tuned, I'll do that next. Then I'll come back with a couple of key differences that really separate this bulb from a lot of the other ones that I've tested on the market that are color bulbs. And I think you're going to want to hear that. So let's get into the programming. Then I'll come back with a few things that you want to use to compare this bulb against other bulbs in the market. To take advantage of the smart features the bulb provides, you'll need to download the Wyze application. And depending on what kind of phone you have, you'll either hit the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store. Download the application. Once you do that, you'll have to create an account and then sign into that account. Bring up the application on your phone. On the main screen, on the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a plus sign. Tap that, and you want to add device. So tap Add Device. Then you have a choice of different devices. Like I'd mentioned, Wyze has a wide universe of devices that this app can control. We're going to want to tap Power and Lighting, and then have a choice of different lighting products. We're going to say Wyze Bulb Color. And now it's going to walk you through the setup procedure. So it's saying screw in your light bulb, put this in a lamp that's powered up, and when you do that, it'll take a couple seconds, and the bulb should start flashing. Okay, it came on, which is a good sign, and now it's flashing, which means it's ready to go. Hit the next button. Then you have to select your network. Now these bulbs work on a 2G Wi-Fi network. Most Wi-Fi networks have 2G and 5G available. You'll want to select the network that's 2G, and then hit Next, sign into that network. And now it's trying to talk to the bulb, and it's looking for the bulb, and I think it found it. Hit the Next, and look, it turned blue. So it now sees the bulb and it's added to the network, and now it's asking me to name it. Now I've already set one up over here, and I've named that left bulb. I'm going to name this right bulb. Let me do that real quick, and then I'll show you how cool it is to control it from your smart speaker. All right, done. Finish naming. Okay, I'm done. All right, now here we go. I've got an Echo set up over there. So let me see if I can get its attention and play with this one first. Echo, turn left light blue. It takes a couple seconds, but that's pretty quick. All right, let's try this one. Echo, turn right light red. Look at that. And I just added that a couple of seconds ago. Just that quickly, the Amazon ecosystem recognized it and gives me full control over it. Now, let me play with this one a little bit. Inside the application, you can actually vary the color of the bulb. So I can move it around. Look at that. Oops, I'm doing the wrong one. Okay, so anyway, look, I'm going from red to blue to green, and it takes a quarter of a second for it to catch up, but I think it's brilliant that it can do that. And I can also set up schedules to say it's time for bed, so maybe at 8 o'clock at night, it turns blue to let the kids know it's time to go upstairs and put down the puzzle, or I can set it up to do random colors throughout the day, depending on what events take place in the house. So it gives you a tremendous amount of control. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll give you a few things that you'll want to keep in mind if you're comparing a colored LED bulb like this from Wyze against other manufacturers on the market, because these guys are building a brilliant product, and it's important you understand the differences. Here are a few things to keep in mind when comparing the Wyze bulb color against most of the other multicolor LED bulbs on the market. And the first has to do with the intensity it can produce. The Wyze bulb can produce 1100 lumens of light, which is much higher than most other multicolor LED bulbs out there, and that's equivalent to about a 75 watt incandescent bulb. Most of the other LED lights on the market are around 800 lumens, which put them around a 60 watt incandescent bulb, which doesn't seem like that much of a difference, and it really isn't if you're using a white LED bulb, but the minute you move to a color bulb, you're only producing one color. You may produce multiple colors, but it's not going to be white, and the challenge there is you're not going to throw as much light into the room. So having that extra 15 watts of power means you're going to get plenty of color, and it's going to throw a lot of light in the room. The second thing you want to compare is the longevity of the bulb. Like I'd mentioned, most LED bulbs are rated between 10 and 15 years of use. This one has been rated over 20 years of use, 22.5 years of use, which means even though you're going to change other LED bulbs less often, you're going to change this one way less often than those other bulbs. So that's an important factor. And that also figures into the cost, because if you can use the bulb longer and you're spending about the same money for it, you're getting more use out of that bulb. And the third, I think, and most important point is the software behind it, because again, a lot of the companies out there make LED bulbs and that's all they make. So you've got to download their application, you've got to wrestle with getting it on your network, you've got to figure out the confusing pattern of adding it to your smart speaker network. With this one, the application works across all their products, it works really well with their lighting products, and it immediately integrates with both Alexa and Google Home, so it's extremely easy to use, it's easy to program, and it gives you a wide amount of control over when the bulbs are on, when they're off, and how much control you have over them. So I hope you found this review helpful. I've used these bulbs for about a week now. I like them an awful lot, and honestly, Wyze is one of my favorite companies to review, because every time they come out with a new product and I look at the specifications, I find something magical in there that they're doing that other companies just haven't caught up with yet. So I think they're a great value. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy!